pastor of Grace Baptist Church in Mount Vernon, New York, since 1975. Under his leadership, the congregation has grown to over 4,000 members. He earned his Master of Arts in Religion from Yale Divinity School and a Doctor of Ministry from United Theological Seminary. Dr. Richardson also serves as chairman of the National Action Network and the Conference of National Black Churches, advocating for social justice and economic equity. His ministry emphasizes community empowerment and faith-based initiatives. Receiving the torchbearer.
We see that you're paying attention, but it's over now. This plaque symbolizes and memorializes this occasion. It says a whole lot of words, but it celebrates this occasion in a very specific way and ties his ministry to the progress that we've made over the years and the roots of our heritage. Would you join me in saluting Reverend Dr. W. Preston? We can do better than that. Thank you, Dr. Richardson, and thank you, Grace. When you reach 90 years of age, you've forgotten more than many of us will ever know. But when you are the Reverend Dr. Herbert Daughtry, you've done more than 9 lifetimes. And we are saluting a preaching, teaching, activist legend, a man who has walked the pages of history and made a difference from Martin to Mandela to Barack Obama, and he's still making news each and every day. Herbert Daughtry in Brooklyn and his bride is with us, Reverend Dr. Karen Daughtry, are here today, and we are saluting them for a lifetime of giving to Black people and making a difference every day. Would you put your hands together to help me welcome the Reverend Dr. Herbert Daughtry.
Reverend Dr. Herbert Daughtry is the National Presiding Minister Emeritus of the House of the Lord Churches. A prominent civil rights activist, he has dedicated his life to social justice, focusing on issues such as racial equality, economic empowerment, and community development. Throughout his ministry, Dr. Daughtry has been a steadfast advocate for marginalized communities, working tirelessly to address systemic injustices and uplift those in need.
Thank you, everybody. Reverend Dr. Brown, to the producers of this program, Adrian, Council, Gene Wells, and all the staff members of the positive community, and to my table, my wife, Dr. Karen Smith-Lutcher, 62 years. Come on. Black, she ought to be up here too. I don't know what other people. Come on up, honey. Come on. You got it. After 62 years, I don't want to lose a line. Listen, I'm 94 years old, y'all. You know, my marketability now is substantially reduced. So I got to hold what I got. And I just want her to come up here and be with me. She has been for all these many years. Y'all give me a little praise. Y'all give me a little, give me a whole heap of praise, and I got a few scribbles on the page. history. But whatever it was, I wouldn't have been there unless she had been she's the pastor of the House of the Lord Church in Brooklyn. And I would also want to introduce Dr. Barra, her husband, James, and the daughter Brooks, who are at my table. My daughter, the Reverend Dr. Donnie Kikiba, that's the fifth generation minister in our family. Big John, we call him, and little Sam Wilson. And all of you who are gathered here, I just want to thank you very much. You know, as I mentioned, 94 now, and I tell you, there's nothing like going home. Come, go home with me. The best of life is yet to be. Many miles yet to explore. Many places you've never been before. And many books to read, and many exciting thoughts to conceive. Oh, come on, let's go all together and enjoy this beautiful, wonderful life. I know I wasn't no radio men on that. But very briefly, Reverend Dr. Barra has indicated that it's a 2.5 Baptist ministry, Baptist church. Well, 2.5 minutes for Pentecostal church. We'd be here all day, you know. So let me just say I much appreciate this award. And, you know, just 3 things. I always consider the value of the award. You know, when you're in 94, you get a lot of awards. Just going home. If you don't believe, just go home. People say, well, that's so-and-so, he pulled so on. Let's give him an award. So I've got a few awards, but I always look at who's getting the award with me, who has so arranged that I should be honored with those who are being honored with me. And then you look at who's giving the award, who's giving the award. As I said, to receive an award, that's the recognition. Especially if you're on the front cover, positive community is to be treasured all the days of your life and to be grateful. And I've been so honored by positive community. And then what you're being honored for, and some people call me the people's best. And some people say, the Father of the City. You get the whole lot of things and you get to be blessed in so many ways. I get to be the Father of the City. And in South Africa, they call me Baba Azizwe, which is the Father of Nations. But to be honored by the people with the name, the People's Pastor. Can you imagine that? All my congregation, I'm your pastor, y'all. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Receiving the Public Safety Award is Stacy D. Stewart. Stacy D. Stewart is the CEO of Mothers Against Drunk Driving, MADD, leading efforts to end impaired driving and support affected individuals. Prior to joining MAD, she served as president of the March of Dimes Foundation, focusing on maternal and infant health. Stewart's career spans roles in business, government, and nonprofit sectors, all centered on improving public health and safety. Her leadership at MADD emphasizes advocacy, education, and community outreach to prevent drunk driving incidents.
That was known as a sneak preview. Our next speaker is an important representative of what some corporations that used to be our partners. They used to buy tables, they used to do things that opened the doors of opportunity, but when the going got rough, they disappeared. But not Diageo. Diageo is a co-sponsor of today's event, and their Vice President, Chantel Butler, is here as our next speaker. Would you make her feel welcome in a positive community kind of way?
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. Thank you to the positive community. I'm Chantel Butler, Vice President of Inclusion and Diversity for Diageo North America, and we're very happy to be here. If you're not familiar with Diageo, we're one of the premium liquor brands in the world, and you may know some of our brands, Guinness, Syrah, Kettle One. So we're really happy to be a part of celebratory moments like this, which brings us here today. In 2022, we established the Multicultural Consortium on Responsible Drinking in partnership with influential diverse leaders to help spread resources and education to reduce alcohol harm. Through this initiative, we've reached millions of people through grassroots efforts and local media. We're really honored that the Positive community is a founding member of this consortium. We look forward to continuing to work with them and the Positive community, along with our other members of the MCRD, in this effort to distribute messages in our communities about responsible drinking and moderation. We have a long-standing relationship and partnership with community organizations, which has brought us here today. Mothers Against Drunk Driving became an inaugural member of Mothers Against Drunk Driving became an inaugural member of our NCRD, and we are the first in their network. We're the first spirits partner working to prevent impaired driving. And through this partnership, you may have seen during the Super Bowl, we launched the first of its kind campaign, Take a Minute and Make a Plan, and Never Drive Impaired. And we brought along the NFL and Uber to launch this last December. And together with MAD, we reached millions of people across multiple channels and efforts leading to the Super Bowl, prompting football fans to really take a minute, make a plan. It only takes 1 minute to do that. Because of this innovation and novel partnership with MAD, I'm really excited to be here today to present Stacey D. Stewart, President and CEO of MAD, with today's award. For more than 25 years, Stacey has served in purpose-driven roles, including President and CEO of the Fannie Mae Foundation, U.S. President and Executive Vice President for Community Impact, Leadership, and Learning at United Way, and most recently, the President and CEO of March of Dimes. She's a graduate of the University of Michigan, Ross School of Business. She earned an MBA in Finance and a Bachelor of Arts and a degree in Economics from Georgetown University. She's been a director on more than 40 nonprofit boards nationally and in Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. She also serves on the board of Hologic, Inc., a medical technology company focused on women's health, and Penny Mac Mortgage Investment Trust, a residential real estate investment trust. On behalf of Diageo, it is my great honor to present Stacey D. Edward with this Community Service Award for her recognition, her contribution to the overall well-being and safety of our communities where we live and serve.
Well, thank you all. It is an honor to be here with you all. I want to thank Positive Community, first of all, for this tremendous honor. I'm so impressed with this gathering, and I feel like every year I want to come back. I also want to thank Diageo. It's one thing to be a company, to have a bottom line, have your stock traded on the New York Stock Exchange, have to answer to investors, but it's a whole other thing to actually walk the walk of caring about the community and caring about people. And that's what Diageo does. And so I want to thank Diageo and all of its partners that we work with to make sure that everyone drives safely and that no one ever drinks and drives or uses drugs and drives. I just want to say a couple things. One is that I'm the first African American to be the president and CEO of Mothers Against Drunk Driving. In fact, this is the fourth time that I have led as an African American a national or global organization. And I think it's really important that in our community we see leaders who are working in the trenches every single day to make a difference for our communities. Black people are disproportionately impacted by impaired driving. How many of you all know someone that was either killed or injured by a drunk or drug driver? Just raise your hands. You know, probably 2/3 of all Americans will be impacted by this issue. MAD's been around for 45 years, and we think because we have rideshare, we have all these things that we've gotten over this issue, and we haven't. 13,000 people died and will die this year because of a drunk or drug driver. Hundreds of thousands of people will be injured. And disproportionately, those people are people that look like me, and many of them look like you. So I'm really honored to be at Mothers Against Drunk Driving to not only help all Americans, but to help people in our communities to stay safer, to live long lives. You know, there's certain freedoms that we celebrate today. We talked about it earlier. The emancipation that we all are blessed to have our ancestors have benefited from, and now we benefit from that emancipation, you know, well over 150 years ago. But there are certain freedoms that we don't have. We don't have the freedom to become impaired and get behind the wheel and then make a car basically something that could actually kill or harm someone. We don't have that freedom. And so it's really important that we remember that we have to take care of each other, we have to protect ourselves and protect our communities. And thank you so much for honoring me and Mothers Against Drunk Driving with this tremendous honor. So thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
In sports, there's a position called the designated hitter. That's the person who only concentrates because they're a big hitter. When they needed a leader for Mothers Against Drunk Driving, they went to a big hitter, and she's now making national history. For our next honoree, we're going to do the Corporate Leadership Award. And this executive has been making a difference for a mighty long time. And it's time that he got his recognition. Darrell Terry is the President and Chief Executive Officer of Newark Beth Israel Medical Center. Would you please come on stage? We can do better. Someone who leads in healthcare that sets an agenda is on the front line. Brother Terry, Mr. President.
Is awarded to an organization that exemplifies excellence and now the positive community is honored to present the Corporate Leadership Award. This prestigious recognition is awarded to an organization that exemplifies excellence in leadership, a commitment to community service, and a dedication to making a lasting impact. This year, the Corporate Leadership Award goes to Robert Wood Johnson.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of RWJ Barnabas Health, we're honored to accept this award. There are 12 hospitals that make up RWJ Barnabas Health. I am Darrell Terry, President and CEO of Newark Beth Israel Medical Center. Thank you. This is an honor. First, I want to congratulate all the other honorees. I've read their accomplishments, and they're phenomenal. Positive community is just, it the name exemplifies exactly who they are. For 25 years, just positivity. Adrian and Jane, they do outstanding work. They're always positive, upbeat, and tell the story of our communities. And we're so proud to have a relationship with them for all these years. Newark Beth Israel and RWJ Barnabas Health, we do a lot of special things in the community. One of the things that we've instituted in the last year is a transportation for our patients. We've provided over 100,000 rides for residents of Newark and the greater Newark area. Transportation has impacted access to care. We wanted to make sure we took that out of play, and I think we've done a good job of doing that. In addition to that, we've added community health workers to all our emergency departments to connect with our patients in a much more meaningful way and help them navigate through the system. So we have food pharmacies throughout the city. We have great relationships with the FQHCs. We have a greenhouse right in Newark on Osborne Terrace, and we are committed to addressing the social determinants of health. RWJ Barnabas Health provides more care to Medicare, Medicaid, as well as charity care recipients than any other system by a whole lot, and we're proud of the access that we're providing for vulnerable communities throughout the state of New Jersey. Thank you for this award, and have a great night.
This is a day and age when some people are paying close attention.
I am already. My name is Duke Ellington. The Negro has had a major influence on the total culture of America, which of course, as I said, the American music is the greatest influence on the world. The colored people, as a whole, have been a wonderful race. The American Negro have been a wonderful race of people who've gone on with the thing as it has been, and very trustingly have come along 100 years now after the Emancipation Proclamation, and of course now the demands are coming more strong, and as it should be. The history of the Negro in America, their place, their major contributions, which have been many, they are said to have 5 major industries of the foundation of the country. Their labor was in constructing the country was most outstanding. Their blood has been given in every war, and today, I mean, they've contributed culturally, and this thing that we're in, the music, I think, is that is the music that is recognized as the American music, which of course is mostly Negro. And the Negro in America is very, very proud of his people, and I'm very, very happy to be here representing them.
Receiving the New Jersey State Senator Ronald Rice Award is Assemblywoman Shavonda E. Sumter. Assemblywoman Shavonda E. Sumter represents New Jersey's 35th Legislative District and serves as the chair of the New Jersey Legislative Black Caucus. She is a strong advocate for economic development, healthcare access, and criminal justice reform. Assemblywoman Sumter has been instrumental in advancing legislation aimed at improving mental health services and addressing social inequalities. She will accept the New Jersey State Senator Ronald Rice Award on behalf of the Black Legislative Caucus, honoring their collective efforts in championing civil rights and social justice.
A very warm thank you to Jean and Adrian for remembering our beloved king, the late Senator Ronald L. Rice. I greet you in love, and to all the other honorees who stood before me, I am humbled to receive this award. I have with me 2 of our members who were able to stay from the 19 members of the New Jersey Legislative Black Caucus, Senator Angela McKnight and Assemblywoman Marlena Reynolds-Jackson. Please stand. We have Assemblywoman Gardner Hall with us as well. I'd also like to share that the work that we do as the Legislative Black Caucus is for rooms such as this. It is in partnership with the faith-based community and the shoulders of giants that we stand on to lead programs such as the Freedom Schools to make sure that our children have access to multicultural reading opportunities that are taught by people who look like us. We need each other right now. Community is extremely important to us today, as every system, institution that we've known to be a safety net for our future generations to learn, grow, and thrive, whether it was affirmative action, whether it is diversity, equity, and inclusion, as we saw the title up here. So thank you to Ziago for all that you do for a positive community. And we just need to remember and stand on the shoulders of giants and walk in the spirit of the late Ron Rice and be unapologetically Black. All right. So as I receive this award today, and I think of all of the work that we've done, to my good brother, Mr. and Councilman Crump, who just walked in the room with his fabulous bow tie. I thank you for being a partner. To a gentleman who has been my ride or die for 27 years, Mr. Kenneth Sumter, the love of my life, I thank you for standing with me. To the Legislative Black Caucus Foundation, who is here, and to members of the foundation, please give a wave. Thank you for all of your support in making sure that we continue our scholarship program to teach young people policy, all critical, so that we have a next generation of leaders to break down the systemic barriers that continue to try to oppress and strain us. So there's much more work to do. I can tell you that right now we're fighting to make sure that minority and women-owned businesses have their opportunity to do state contracting with the state of New Jersey, which is a legacy issue that Senator Rice fought for. We're at the precipice of breaking through that concrete ceiling, but we need all of you with us, fighting as allies and not against us. We don't need any more beatings. We need you as partners in this work to make sure that the Senate passes it and the governor signs it so we can begin to build our economic wealth based on the abilities of our businesses within the state of New Jersey to pour in our communities so that we can thrive together. Can I count on you for that?
Yeah.
Can I count on you for that? Stand with the Legislative Black Caucus as we move New Jersey forward. Thank you. God bless.
Assemblywoman Neroff, across the river, your work in economic development is recognized on the other side of the river. Michael Garner is a warrior on behalf of economic development. For those who don't know him, he's the Chief Diversity Business Officer for the City of New York. And he's done a mighty job in getting us to 30%. And the Reverend Dennis Dillon is a publisher, a businessman, but he's also a leader in organizing our communities, particularly overseas and doing business, at Blacks doing business with Africa. So they're here today in support of you.
Receiving the Dr. Clement Alexander Price Award is Lonnie G. Bunch III. Lonnie G. Bunch III is the 14th Secretary of the Smithsonian Institution, overseeing 21 museums, 21 libraries, the National Zoo, and multiple research and education centers. He assumed this role on June 16, 2019, becoming the first African American and historian to lead the institution. Prior to this, Bunch was the founding director of the National Museum of African American History and Culture, guiding its development from conception to its opening in 2016. A prolific author, his works include A Fool's Errand, detailing the museum's creation. His leadership has been instrumental in preserving and presenting African American history and culture.
Good evening, and thank you for this honor. I am just sorry I could not come back to my home state of New Jersey to join you in person today. I'm especially touched and humbled to receive the first Dr. Clement Alexander Price Award. Clem was not only one of my dearest friends who I knew for years, he was also a professional role model. He was a gold standard of historians, one of the people who influenced me and showed how I could make a difference by carving out a career in history. I had a chance to work with Clem and another of my role models, Spencer Crew, on an oral history collection from the last generation of African Americans who had been enslaved. It was the kind of project I had always envisioned after deciding to use history and education as my preferred weapons in the struggle for social justice. Clem continues to remind us of the importance of history and the power history has to help us create a brighter shared future. Now, when I gave a commencement speech at Rutgers not long before Clem's death, a picture was taken of us. He was laughing that generous laugh, a snapshot of the joy he brought to a room. It is how I will always remember him. So I gratefully accept this award from the positive community that embodies both Clement's and mine determination to remember those left out of the narrative. Organizations like yours are part of how we begin to correct those omissions on both a local and national level. It is how we tell a more truthful, accurate version of the American story, one that includes every tint and every tone. As we celebrate the Emancipation Proclamation, it's worth noting that even the narrative surrounding that revolutionary document is often incomplete. Many have treated it as the end of a tragic era in American history, a speech Lincoln wielded like a magic incantation to free the enslaved. But like so much history, the true story is so much more complex and nuanced. The proclamation was a single point on a spectrum, an ongoing struggle of a people who saw both the promise of a nation and how much work it would take to perfect this union by living up to its highest ideals. Without the work of African Americans, both free and enslaved, abolition would not have come when it did. Yes, the Emancipation Proclamation led to a fundamental change in equality and citizenship. But the fundamental work that led to emancipation and led to the Civil Rights Movement that resulted in changes to laws and culture must continue. It is up to all who cherish freedom, equality, and justice. Today I am deeply honored because with this award, you recognize more than just me. You recognize the significance of history and of embracing a history that is unvarnished and inclusive. So I accept this award in recognition of our shared history. On behalf of enslaved women who arose every morning to take care of their children before laboring in the field, and who refused to let slavery strip them of their humanity. And I accept this on behalf of families who left the South to come to the North in search of a better life. And I accept on behalf of my own grandmother, who took in other people's laundries and scrubbed floors not her own, so that her children and grandchildren would not have to work on bended knee. And I accept this award on behalf of all those families who, despite poverty and discrimination, believed in America that was yet to be. By honoring me, you are honoring the notion that there is nothing more powerful than a people, than a nation steeped in its history, and there's nothing more noble than honoring our ancestors by remembering. Thank you for this amazing honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the co-founder and publisher of the Positive Community Magazine, Adrian Council. He is here today to present the African American cultural narrative. We've come this far by faith.
African Americans are a unique people with a peculiar history in this land. Brought to these shores in chains from Africa in the early 1600s, our people toiled and suffered as captives in brutal bondage for a quarter of a millennium. On January 1st, 1863, 2 years into the Civil War, the Emancipation Proclamation, signed by President Abraham Lincoln, became law, signaling an end to slavery. On that day, the African American community of the United States of America was born. 100 years later, in August of 1963, at the height of the Civil Rights Movement, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stood in front of the Lincoln Memorial as he led hundreds of thousands to a march on Washington, seeking an end to discrimination and 90 years of Jim Crow segregation in the South. It was a demand for full and equal citizens' rights for the people in what has been called the Second Emancipation. 40 years later, after Martin Luther King Jr.'s tragic assassination in 1968, America elects its first black president, the Honorable Barack Obama. In the 100 years between the first and second emancipation, in the midst of bitter persecution, humiliation, lynching, and enduring the denial of basic human rights, the resilience of the African African-American spirit continue to shine brightly in religion, business, education, medicine, inventions, sports, and the creative arts. Music, fashion, dance, language, literature, and theater. Indeed, original American art forms and a popular culture which has become the envy of the world were founded upon the souls of a forlorn people. And that is our story, the truth, beauty, and goodness of the loving and gifted race revealed. An extraordinary history. Ours is an extraordinary history of trial, tribulation, and triumph that we must never, ever forget. This is the very story we must tell our children and ever be remembered for all future generations. We, the people, descendants of the great emancipation, must tell our story and sing our greatest songs to each other and to the entire world. We must remind ourselves over and over again of the noble struggle, human dignity, sacrifices, and wisdom of our torch-bearing forefathers, of our goodly heritage, our divine inheritance, our great music legacy. Positive music matters. This is our story, the cultural narrative, a new language of freedom, a springboard toward a great and prosperous future, a spiritually enlightened ideal, a vision of hope, opportunity, and progress, liberty and happiness, health and wholeness, peace and goodwill. Indeed, we've come this far by faith.
Receiving the award for academic leadership is Dr. Lamont O. Rapallet. Dr. Lamont O. Rapallet serves as the 18th president of Keene University. Before this role, he was New Jersey's Commissioner of Education, where he implemented policies aimed at closing achievement gaps and promoting educational equity. At Keene University, Dr. Rapallet focuses on expanding access to higher education, enhancing academic programs, and fostering a diverse and inclusive campus environment. His leadership reflects a commitment to student success and community engagement.
Receiving for Keine University and its president, Aisha Mapp from Community Engagement and Government Affairs will be receiving this award.
Good afternoon. I am honored to accept this award for academic leadership on behalf of a transformative leader, Dr. Lamont Rapallet, President of Keine University, who regrettably could not be here with us today. As his Assistant Director of Special Projects for Government Affairs and Community Partnerships, I have had the opportunity to witness firsthand his dedication to fostering connections between Keine University and our communities. Dr. Rapallet's leadership style is characterized by engagement, empowerment, and elevation. These principles guide our relationships, advance our mission of excellence, and anchor us within our communities. Under his bold leadership, Keine has achieved new heights, including becoming New Jersey's first urban research university. And just last week, earning the prestigious R2 research designation from the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. This distinction places Keine University among the top 8% of colleges and universities nationwide for research and doctoral activity. Today,
we commemorate more than 160 years since the Emancipation Proclamation. We are reminded that education remains one of the most powerful tools for advancing social justice, opening doors, and creating positive change within our community. At Kane, a Hispanic serving and minority serving institution, we honor this legacy of access and opportunity every day. Dr. Repillette is a man of faith whose vision for Kane is rooted in the conviction that every student deserves the opportunity to excel. As an academic leader, he transforms values into impactful actions and loving service. And I can think of no one more deserving of this award than him. So on behalf of Kane President, Dr. Lamont Repillette, Kane University, and myself, I extend heartfelt congratulations to the positive community on 25 years of amplifying the good word and uplifting Black excellence. Thank you for this meaningful honor.
Today, we proudly introduce the first ever Mildred C. Crump Living Service Award, named in honor of a trailblazer whose unwavering dedication to justice, leadership, and love continues